From the minute we are born until adulthood, our brains are changing and developing. But in what ways? What exactly is going on in our heads? During the first 3 years of life, the baby's brain triples in weight and establishes 1,000 trillion nerve connections. A baby's frontal lobe starts developing between 6 and 12 months. The frontal lobe controls walking, talking, problem solving, and some aspects of emotion. When a baby starts babbling, the left side of her brain starts working. When she listens to a lullaby or becomes fascinated by something, the right side is in control. Babies are born with all the brain cells they'll ever have, which is 100 billion. Did you know love makes a baby's brain bigger? A study in Washington University in St. Louis examined the growth of the hippocampus, which is responsible for memory and stress modulation. They found it was more developed and physically larger among children who got lots of loving support from their parents. Aww. As it turns out, brains take a lot longer to mature than we once thought. Adults, for example, know how to make decisions. They do this with their prefrontal cortex. The neurons in the prefrontal cortex communicate with other neurons through synapses. Teenage brains don't work like this. The prefrontal cortex may not be fully developed until your mid-20s. Developing is slow, beginning in the back of the brain and making its way forward. The prefrontal cortex is the last to shape and mature. This is also the time when your brain starts losing connections that you don't use in a process called synaptic pruning. This means your teenage years are an important time to use your brain. Write stories and poetry, play sports, learn a language. By doing these things, you are helping these connections survive. So don't just sit around on your phone all day.
Created using Powtoon.